Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my experience in pulling my daughter out of the school system. So I think this is something that is going to help a lot of people because I think it's different. It's definitely different. Homeschooling from the very beginning, from the time your child starts school, versus pulling your child who has been in the school system for years out of school. So first I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory for our situation. My oldest daughter is 9. She's going to be 10 in a couple weeks. And she's been in the school system her entire school career. She went to preschool and then she went to kindergarten, and we pulled her out of the public kindergarten school and put her in a charter school. And so from basically a Thanksgiving of her kindergarten year until 2nd grade, she was in a Montessori charter school, which we really loved. And we ended up moving away from that school, and the driving just became too far. So at that point, for her 3rd grade year, she began school in the public school district where we live. So when she got into the public school system, basically they gave her a standardized test right in the beginning of the school year. She had never taken a standardized test before in her life, and they determined that she was behind in reading comprehension and a little behind in math. So pretty much her entire 3rd grade year, we battled with these extra helping programs that she was placed in, bringing home extra work for her to do so we could work on them at home. And at first I was all for it, like if she's behind, you know, yeah, let's work on it. But after experiencing completely different things while she's at home, her comprehension was fantastic. Everything we read, she would remember detail after detail and be able to tell me that. So I was very confused on how they were measuring her and determining that she was behind. In the winter of that year, she took that same standardized test and she improved 97%, but according to them, that still wasn't good enough. So during this school year is, I feel like, the most detrimental school year for her, and it created a lot of problems going forward. So now we're going to fast forward to when we decided to pull her out of school to homeschool. So the end of her 3rd grade year is when the pandemic happened. All of the students were moved to virtual learning, and it was awful. Virtual learning was not for us. My child, she hated it so much. She hated doing it. She fought me every single day that she had to get on there and do it. And then the work that she was given was basically review. It was not teaching her new concepts. So she missed out on a good chunk of her 3rd grade year because of virtual learning. So the following year, when we were still kind of talking about virtual with the schools and they weren't sure what they were going to do, they were back and forth in their decision, I just decided to look into homeschooling. Now, I had thought about homeschooling years ago, but never had the confidence to do it. I always thought I wasn't good enough. I could never teach my stubborn child. I wasn't going to be able to do it. So at this point, when I was looking back into homeschooling, I did a ton of research. The research really helped to calm my nerves because I found homeschool moms on YouTube. And that really helped because I could see what a typical day looked like homeschooling, all of the freedom that they had while homeschooling, and it really started to pull at my heart. I was super nervous. Like, I took a really long time to finally send my email of withdrawal from her school, and it took me a while to actually hit send. I just had to lean into the fear and trust God in this decision that it was the best thing for us at that time. I wasn't sure what it was going to look like. I was pretty sure that she would just go back to school afterwards the following year and that we would just be doing it for 1 year. There were so many unknowns. I emailed the school in our state. It's really easy to withdraw your child from public school. You just email the school as a courtesy. Now I'm going to talk about the actual physical transition from public school to homeschool and some of the challenges that we kind of face. So it's definitely a transition. Homeschool does not look like public school, and It took me doing that research ahead of time and watching the homeschool mom channels to realize that, because I think I had some preconceived notions of what homeschooling looked like. So something that my daughter really struggled with from her public school experience is her confidence was shattered. Every time she got something wrong, she got a red marked grade, she would have to bring them home and fix them, and that just kind of really shattered her confidence. She was afraid to try because she was afraid to see that red pen and get things wrong. She developed a perfectionism, and this was our biggest thing that we had to overcome this school year, was the perfectionism and the lack of self-confidence. So I really had to work on reframing her mind. I had to have a lot of patience because there were a lot of tears. There was a lot of frustration from her, I'm saying. So I really had to try to be really patient with her and just realize that this is just part of the transition. I had to work on reframing her mind so that she realized that I'm not against her. I'm not going to grade her when she gets something wrong. We work through the problem she got wrong right there on the spot, and we work together. I had to try to teach her that we were partners. This school-teacher relationship is a partnership. It's working together. It's cooperation. It's, you know, learning and growing together. I have to keep reiterating the fact that we're a team and that it's okay. It's okay if you don't get something right the first time. It's okay if you get something wrong, because we're just going to fix it right there. There's no grades, there's no red pen marks or any of that. I really tried to keep a relaxed mindset and really try to make her first year of homeschooling like completely different from public school. I wanted her to love it. I wanted her to enjoy homeschooling, and so we took breaks through the day. We did a lot of outside time. She spent a lot of time doing things that she's interested in, art and crafts and just being outside and that sort of thing. And once she realized that the school day doesn't take 8 hours and that she can get her work done and then have freedom for the rest of the day, she was all for it. Our first half of the year was really challenging, I'm not gonna lie. We had a lot of tears and a lot of, like, I'm not gonna call them bad days, but hard days. We had a lot of hard days. And then after the holidays is kind of when I saw a change, and I started to see that her mindset was starting to change, and that she didn't really care as much when she got something wrong, and that she could relax and not be so on edge about making mistakes. Another thing that I realized while homeschooling was that she had so many learning gaps. I don't really know what happened, but she was never really taught how to tell time on a clock. She was never really taught money, and I think that those are two very important things, and so we kind of had to backtrack and work through that a little bit, because there was just something that was missed. And it opened my eyes to how many gaps there are in public school education. And it's not because of the teachers, it's not because of the school, it's because there's so many students and one teacher. And so one thing that I realized about homeschooling is how individualized and how custom I can make her education, and really how focused it is, and how we can master everything really well before moving on to the next thing. We can pause and take extra time if we need to. So in summary, we have had so much growth this year. My eyes have been opened at how freeing homeschooling truly is in so many areas and so many different aspects of our life. And that right there is one of the biggest reasons that we are continuing to do this. The freedom, you know, to make it how we want, and to do it how we want, and make our days our own. There are still a ton of unknown things. We still don't know what the future holds, and I'm still slightly nervous because I don't know all of the things. I don't know what our years are going to look like, and the uncertainty of knowing what to teach when, and to try to make sure that she's learning all of everything she needs to know is, you know, still there in the back of my mind. You know, I still don't know everything. I still do a ton of research every day about homeschooling and curriculum and trying to figure out what to add in and what to use. And so that is always going to be an ongoing thing. One of the main takeaways from this video is that you can really make your homeschool your own, and you should make it your own. You shouldn't try to copy somebody else's homeschool. Everybody's homeschool looks different, everybody's focuses are different, and their values are different, and you just make it how you want, what feels good for you, what flows nice for you and your children. And that's an important thing to remember. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful to somebody out there about transitioning children out of the public school system and into homeschooling. There is a transition period and there are challenges, but I just urge you to persevere through it, because the growth and the freedom that comes at the end is so rewarding and so worth it. So I'll see you guys in another video very soon.